Cool. I'm here with Jorge Masvidal. It's an interesting guest because we both fought like over 20 years. We've always been opposite sides though. Like
same shows we basically fought in.
Yeah, same weight sometimes. I've been a little higher, you were a little lower.
Force, yeah.
Bodog even?
Bodog, I was about to say.
Were you at the one in Costa Rica?
I was the one in Costa Rica. I went to both of those. They went 2 times over there. No, they might have gone 3 times, but out of the 3, I went twice.
Nice.
And then I think what you find Japan as well.
Japan as well. Shudo and Pancras. Yeah, we were same time.
I didn't get
we
to
were
fight
always
Shudo,
like,
but I was like this close again. Some matches booked there, so that's one of the few ones that was always on my bucket list because they were the best guys in our weight classes were like in at the time there.
Yeah, I looked at record. We fought 5 of the same opponents. I didn't realize that. Like Damian Maia, Paul Daly, Jake Ellenberger, Steve Berger, and like Toby Amada, because we were always rolling in the same scene.
Yeah.
So I never could become your friend because we might have ended up fighting, and you fought 2 of my best friends. But I always respected you. You know, hopefully the feeling's mutual. Your guy respected, but we're like just the way we are. We're real. You know, so we know.
I remember since the Gilbert fight, you were in his corner and stuff for that one. You know, that was a big one.
Oh, like him and Nate are 2 of my best friends, and I know you roll how we do. I know you're a guy not to fuck with, and when you signed to fight Nate, I'm like, oh fuck, I might have to fight Jorge and his crew. But luckily there was nothing. Nothing bad went down.
For the thick and thin and all the bullshit they went through at the press conference, the fight, I've always liked Nate outside of the fighting. Inside of the fighting, obviously, bro, who's not a fan of this guy? He's all heart all the time, you know? He might not have the best technique, but fuck, man, does he get after it, and he puts everything. He has no regard for his fucking health, you know, when he's fighting. So I've always been a big fan of Nate, but obviously when it's fight time, I'm like, fuck, I'm trying to bust whoever it is.
Oh,
up,
you guys had 2 fucking great fights. You know, like both, awesome fights. And you guys sold out without the UFC promoting it. You guys sold out with like 19,000 people in the boxing fight. That shit was lit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we moved the date like 4 or 5 times, so it was like, it's fucking nuts, man. For a second, we were like, maybe it's not so good they moved it so many days, but it turned out fine, bro.
I was worried about it, but it shows you guys have star power. I was like, oh, I hope this thing does well. And I went in there, it was just packed.
Especially in California, you know. Nate's got a huge following, obviously. I got a very big following with the Latin community. I knew we were going to do well.
Yeah, and you're Cuban, correct?
Yeah. My dad's Cuban, my mom's from Peru.
Okay, you're born in the U.S.?
Born in Miami, Florida.
Right, yes, I remember when I first saw you, was those old street fighting videos.
Yes, sir, back in the day.
Yeah, that sounds pretty crazy, right?
Our boy Icy Mike's the one that put me on those, man.
Yeah, I'm tight with Icy Mike too. So actually, we've always had mutual friends and respect. It's just kind of when my friends are fighting your friends.
That's like the first time that we kind of like hung out and we're like in the same place for a long time was the grappling competition.
What was that? Was that the one, High Rollers?
High Rollers, but it was it High Roller? Yeah, it was a High Rollers, definitely. I think it either had just, it was just finishing up, and then you competed that day, and then everybody hung out, got fucking high.
Yeah, right.
They had the bazooka fucking blast.
That was insane. They got the whole room turned into a hot box.
Yeah, I got fucking pretty lit off that shit. That was my first time doing that.
Yeah, I don't even smoke that much, and I got so lit one of the times.
With Nate, you don't be smoking? I would have thought you smoked like a chimney.
They're always high, and I'm like, I don't smoke that much. Sometimes I'd get lit. A couple times they'd get me lit for sparring, though, and I'm just like, get all paranoid. I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to spar now. Oh. But you know how it is. It's like, when you're sparring, you're locked in the cage, your gloves are taped on, you can't be a bitch, and you're like, oh shit, I got spar 5 rounds right now.
You gotta go. But it helps, I think, smoking a little bit, with the nerves.
I like it for jiu-jitsu more than
for jiu-jitsu,
Jiu-jitsu, I like it, but like sparring, when you're sparring like Nick and stuff, because we spar, we're boys, but we spar pretty hard.
You gotta, even if it's your boys or brothers. Speaking of jiu-jitsu, your fight with Damian Maia was a fucking good one, bro. You put on a jiu-jitsu clinic on him then.
And that's it's a tough-ass dude. I mean, that's...
Fuck yeah, he is. I fought that guy. He's fucking tough. He's crafty as hell. The best jiu-jitsu guy I ever faced in my life,
No, he's phenomenal. That's why everyone's underestimating me on the ground, thinking, I think I was a big underdog going into that one.
Yeah.
Down in Brazil, and I'm like, I ain't gonna out-jiu-jitsu me.
Yeah. And he wasn't an out-wrestler either. He had a good wrestling background. I didn't think he'd get you down. But if he gets somebody's back there, he's a fucking problem.
I worked a lot of back escapes. He almost got my back once, but I kind of rolled through like a Granby. I did practice, like, don't let this guy get the back and lock it on. You can't get it off.
It's game over if he does, bro.
So what, how did you get sucked into those street fights with like Kimbo and stuff?
Well, Kimbo and me were out of the same gym, and we're floating around similar neighborhoods, had a couple friends in common and stuff, and obviously I knew about Kimbo. He already had like 40 million views per video, when back then Michael Jackson was getting like 1 million views per video. It was the craziest thing. He was the first YouTube legit star, I always say that. And he was in the same gym, and Icy Mike had been talking to us, and my people approached Icy Mike, and they were like, hey man, we want to get this guy some fights, this and that. And they invited me over. They're like, hey, yeah, bring him on. We'll match him up. It took some time, maybe I don't know, from when they first came up to me to actually fight, it was like 4 months, 3 months and change, something like that. Like, hey, you want to fight? And I was like, hell yeah. And some time went by, and I didn't receive a call or anything. And finally, I get a call, and someone's like, hey, you still want to fight, brother? I was like, hell yeah, I want to fight. They're like, all right, we're going to keep you posted. In about 2 weeks' time, we're going to call you and give you the on that day, we'll give you like the day
right
we're about.
You're fighting.
Yeah, because back then it was very like on the hush.
Yeah.
Because of the police and everything, they wouldn't tell you where it was at like a day before. Just
sense.
like 2 hours before, it'd be like, all right, show up, and then they take everybody's phone.
Either.
I didn't know the opponent.
Kind of like that, just old school, just like scrapping,
yeah, no. I mean, I wish I would have known, because then when I got there, I'm like, this fucking light heavyweight is the guy I'm fighting. He's massive. When I saw him, I was like, man, he's a fucking big dude. You know, and then he knocked out the first guy pretty quick, so I was like, all right, this guy knows a little something too. He's not just big, you know. But after I beat him the second fight, I knew it was him because it was a rematch, you know. And I got there was other people doing the fights as well, but nobody was doing it like Kimbo stuff. So after I did it with Kimbo, I really didn't like do any more of those like bare knuckle fights out there.
Yeah, because those did pretty big. I mean, your numbers probably did pretty big even on YouTube, right? Because I remember seeing you scrap on there.
They held the fight initially. When they first did it, they held the fight, I think, for like a year. No, I'm not sure why. They just held it for like a year, and I was like, man, and I started to think maybe the fight wasn't, because I hadn't seen it. I was like, everybody told me the fight was good. Maybe they were lying. Maybe the fight wasn't good. That's why I didn't put it on, and I'd forgotten about it. And all of a sudden, I'm YouTube scrolling, looking at like MMA highlight videos, and boom, I see my video, and it already has like, I don't know, 10, 15,000 views. I'm like, that's crazy, right? Fucking wow, this is back then. I'm like, I can't believe I got so many views.
Really have a name it then.
Bro, like 2-3 months later, that shit's like fucking 500, 600. It's on the way to 1 million already. I can't fucking believe it. I'm freaking out. And that's all because of fucking Kimbo Slice, rest in peace. And I see my...
Yeah, no, Kimbo is a super nice dude. Met him a few times. He's so much nicer than people would think. He was super cool.
Super duper humble. And a crazy gifted athlete. Like, if he would have started MMA from little, would have been a serious fucking problem, man.
Yeah, I fought in a couple of the cards when they were pushing him with the Dixie. You were in the Dixie cards too?
No, I wasn't, but I saw all of them. There was one in Florida.
Like crazy. Yeah, they were big though. He was a star. He was selling out arenas and stuff. It was like, holy crap.
He, what do you call it? I remember that fight when he exploded Thompson's ear.
I was on that card. Yeah, I fought, but I was on that card. I remember.
Yeah. Who'd you fight? Daly on that one?
I think it was it Paul? Yeah, I think Paul Daly.
Yeah, that was in Florida. Yeah, I was live there for that one.
Yeah,
I was live for that one. That was nuts. That was a good one.
Yeah, Florida's interesting.
Yeah.
Pretty, you obviously grew up kind of in the streets there, scrapping.
Miami. Yeah. Miami's a little different than the rest of Florida, but yeah, Miami's my home turf.
And what got you into training? Just the street fighting and?
Brother, I was like always attracted to combat. You know, I couldn't watch a basketball game or football game. There's like rare things that caught my attention. I had extreme hyper fucking energy. I couldn't sit down for nothing. But on Saturdays, they would play these like marathon flicks of Kung Fu from like, I don't know, 10 a.m. to like 10 at night. And my dad says I would sit there and not move a muscle. He said the only time that I could sit and just be still was when these Kung Fu flicks were on. From the Kung Fu, my love grew to like boxing when I got a little bit older, like around 8 years old. And then when I was 11, 12, I discovered the UFC and I was like, that's it. This is all I want to do. I don't know what it entails, what it's going to take, what type of training I got to do, but I want to fucking do this for the rest of my life. And that's it, bro. And I think that's like for a lot of us, you know, we're at somewhere in life, we fucking found the UFC, like, holy smokes, what's this, bro? And I was hooked, bro.
Yeah, I can definitely relate. You know, I was getting in a lot of trouble. I was wrestling. I was super addicted to wrestling. And then I met Chuck Liddell in college. You know, I was being dumbass, getting arrested, being an idiot. And then I met Chuck and just started following him around, just became completely obsessed, you know. Luckily Chuck took me under his wing. He was never really my coach, but I
never really knew that.
I was there for a year before I switched up to the crew, and he wasn't coaching anyone at the time, but I just kind of pestered him and followed him around, and he like let me kind of just like follow him and do his training. I remember the first time I sparred with him, just beat the crap out of me. I was being a punk trying to like, kick his ass, and he just dropped me with a liver shot. Ooh. You wouldn't drop a liver shot probably right the first time.
And Chuck could wrestle too.
Exactly. I was too cocky, and he was stuffing me and just dropped me with that liver shot.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Chuck was one of the coolest, most humble dudes also I've met in the sport, bro. I love Chuck, man.
He is, and he's the first person I knew to get famous, and that really, like, that was such a wake-up call, like, don't become a douchebag. Like, I remember I hadn't seen Chuck in, like, hadn't seen him in, like, a year or something, and he's like, oh, you never hit me up anymore. And I'm like, oh, I'm the one treating him different. And then we go to some Playboy party, and like, well, Chuck can get in, but you can't. Back when you after was around, and Chuck's just like, I'm not fucking going in without my homies. And he ended up getting us all in. And I'm like, oh, this guy's like, I was treating him different. He's treating me just like I'm the one being a weirdo because he got famous. He's not being a weirdo.
Yeah, no, Chuck's a fucking man. Was that the fights? The fights at the Bulldog and Strikeforce had at the Playboy Mansion?
No. I did go to those. It was like some Hugh Hefner Playboy thing. Those were actually the Playboy Mansion fights were actually kind of lame because it was like he sold them out and it was like all a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, exactly. In that aspect, it was the lamest fucking shit ever. It's like everybody would always tell me, man, you went to the Playboy Mansion. Tell me what happened.
It's terrible.
Like, it's terrible, brother. When I finished fighting, it was like the ratio was like 10 guys per every maybe one chick. That was around.
And almost every chick there, the dude like bought her ticket in. So there was the dude. It was terrible.
Yeah. Or it was Hugh Hefner's girlfriends, the available ones, you know.
Exactly. Everyone's all like, oh, you're going to the Playboy Mansion. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not cool.
Not on this side.
Who did you fight on those ones? I know Gil fought there, but you didn't fight him on that.
I fought, man, am I slipping my mind now? He fought in Bulldog as well, Asian guy. From Connecticut.
Gil knocked out some Japanese guy in that one. And you and Gil had a really good fight. That was in San Diego, I think.
Yeah, San Diego, that's where we fought. Love San Diego. Yeah, our fight, man. But I always look back, I always wanted to run it back with Gil because I was like, man, our fight, you know, I fucked up my hand right in the first round. I know he fucked up his foot. And I think also like strategy-wise, I was thinking the whole time he was going to like wrestle me more. So I was a little bit like waiting for the wrestling exchanges, then try to hit him. He wasn't wrestling as much. So it was like
you guys both hit hard, so you're hard to like both hard for you guys to rush up on.
Yeah.
But yeah, typically
there was a lot of action, but I always thought this could have been like one of the greatest fights that ever happened because Gil's like all heart too, you know. He's not the most technical guy in the world, but man, that dude is all heart once he gets in there. You got to kill that guy like a dog, bro.
It's that Mexican style where they just like keep coming, you know.
You got to kill him. And back then when Gilbert was like fucking one of the best really in the world, but he could wrestle well. Strike well. None of these like lay and pray guys could really like take him down and ride him out, you know.
He would get up,
Yeah.
It was hard to spar Gil and like Nick all the time, and they would just like keep coming.
Yeah.
If you have a bad day, they're like their conditioning is just in your face. Like, oh man, these guys, they won't let up.
Yeah. And Gil could fucking he had decent ground too, good ground and pound. I remember. We trained hard for that fight because I think it got moved like 3 different times. It was supposed to happen in September and then ended up being in December. And the whole time through I trained. So when I got into that fight, I was like in some of the best shape of my life, you know.
Yeah, no, it was a war. I think that's when Nick fought Daly. I think that was like one of the best right pounds. That was like
that wasn't on that card though.
I could be wrong. I was wrong with that one.
I don't think. Yeah,
you might be right. I think Gil might fought something different on that one.
Yeah, because me and Gil headlined that one in the.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was a different card. Yeah.
Damn, I'm trying to think who the headline. But the Nick and Daly fight was nuts.
That was like the best one.
That was nuts.
If you haven't seen that, you should look that up. It's the best one round fight like ever.
Fucking it. I thought Nick was gonna get fucking flatlined for a second, then he did the chicken dance, and all of a sudden he came back, and then what the fuck? Nah, Paul Daly doing the chicken dance is a good fighter.
And Daly throws with some power.
Oh, I fought Daly. I remember he was cracking. He never hit me like clean in the jaw. But I was very sick in the fight. But a couple times his fucking left hooks just hit because he had a marvelous left hook, and I could just feel the whip, my whole body just doom, doom. And I was like, I'm not letting this fucking guy hit me no matter what. And that's one of the fights in my defenses was very, very important. I never got lazy with my footwork. I moved my feet very well, making sure he never got like a good shot off, you know.
Same, I fought him. He didn't land any clean shots, but I could feel like the grazing shots were like insane power even. Like you graze the jab and you're like, oh wow, I don't want this guy to connect.
He wasn't the best grappler, but he was fucking naturally strong as fuck.
Yeah, so stylistically it was a pretty good fight for me, but it was still like dangerous with the power he was throwing at me. I'm like, oh man, don't let this guy connect his knee.
Good knees. You choked him out?
I choked him. Yeah. Rear naked in the second round.
Yeah.
Or no, I think I armbarred him actually. Yeah. But like him, I was shooting head outside singles. They don't want to shoot head inside to the knee.
Yeah.
If you cross in and you do that skip knee, I'm like, no, I'm going to go head outside. That's what I learned for guys that throw good knees is shoot head outside.
Head out, yeah. The only thing you got to worry about is a high crotch, and then Daly to have a high crotch.
No, exactly. But
and then he was doing good in the UFC, and then he fucked up. I remember with Koscheck, he threw like a punch after they fucked up, but he was doing real good.
Oh, he was, and they kicked him out forever for that.
Yeah, he knocked out like 2 guys that were like top 5 and shit, and then boom, he had that problem with Koscheck.
Surprised he never brought him back, but Dana did say, you know, he was pretty pissed because he punched him after the bell.
I remember that shit.
What, did you watch the John Jones fight last week?
Hell yeah.
Good, huh?
Fuck, bro. Jones is... I really thought Stipe on paper was going to be one of his toughest matches. I betted on Jones. The whole time I believed Jones was going to win, but I really thought this fight, it was going to like push him in some ways, you know. Stipe naturally being bigger, great boxing, and has great wrestling defense. It was like all this time Jones has been away, he's gotten better because he fucking played with Miocic.
Yeah, he just destroyed him. He looks so good.
God, man.
He's like, there's no real holes. I mean, he's had Gordon Ryan out helping with his jiu-jitsu. He's not even a guy who needs to pass though. He can just go half guard and just throw elbows. Or even from like guard, it's like they're so long.
But the way that he took Stipe down was fucking insane. I think he missed that like kick that he does to the kneecaps, and then he just judo tossed him into next week.
Yeah, destroyed him. He's good. Yeah. What do you think, him and Tom Aspinall, right? That'll be
I want to see it, you know. I definitely want to see it because when I think of stuff like, man, I remember when John Jones was coming up and everybody was kind of talking about, everybody already knew John Jones. Like, man, this guy's the truth. He's the best. He's wiping out everybody. And Shogun had the belt. Shogun could have been like, I've done all these things in Japan. I'm the UFC champion. I don't need to fight this guy, you know, and who knows what would have happened, right? Thank goodness he fought him. So it's kind of like the same thing. I would like Jones to fight the best out there in heavyweight and give Aspinall his flowers, his shot.
I agree.
But I think Jones wins. He finds a way to win.
I agree. A lot of people think Aspinall's will win. And he's a great fighter, but I think Jones, he always finds a way to win.
Yeah.
He just wants to get paid. I think he'll fight him. He's just negotiating to get paid.
And I agree he should get paid.
I'm like, John Jones ain't scared to fight anyone. He just wants to get fucking paid.
Yeah, I agree. He should get paid as much as anybody possibly. This guy's undefeated. Dana loves this guy. Always says he's the greatest guy he's ever had under the banner. So pay this guy. You know.
I mean, you have Trump and Elon front row watching him fight. That shows a lot.
Yeah,
it shows how much our sport has grown. Like, how cool is that? You get the president of the United States and Elon Musk.
Used to be in fucking little Indian casinos, closed circuit TV.
No money.
No money.
Yeah, we came.
Remember, boxing was trying to stop us. Fucking. What was it? Bud Light, I think. I forgot. One of them.
People trying to block it. Like politicians trying to block it.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name. One of the big politicians.
And now the biggest politicians are all on board with it. It's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, it really kind of aligned with us. We're just kind of aligned with right-wing politics somehow nowadays, which I wasn't really that political, but for some reason the MMA world kind of, I think after COVID and stuff, kind of switched. Everyone realized like everyone's kind of right-wing.
Yeah.
But you kind of got forced to. I think the woke stuff was like so crazy that it kind of realized that I'm not necessarily right, but you kind of have no choice to be. These people are so crazy.
That's the thing. You just said it, the wokes up, the extreme left. Like there's a lot of Democrats that don't think like this, that are just like regular people. Well, they want to work, they want to provide for their families, they want to have a safe neighborhood, they want to have inflation low, and they want to get by doing the thing. And then obviously they want to make sure that other people they need help, you know, or getting it and stuff. And then there's the extreme radicals that are like, no, women and men are the same sex. Men should be competing against women. We should be paying for fucking illegal aliens, sex surgeries. Like, when I hear this type of stuff, I'm like, but do you even fucking know what you're talking about, you know?
Yeah, it's just so retarded you don't know how to respond. Like, us being athletes, when they say like men should be able to compete with women, it's just pure insanity.
It's just, with me and you don't need to be doctors to know, brother, there's a fucking massive difference between a man that weighs 180 pounds and even a woman that's like 200 pounds.
Weight makes no difference,
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't matter. I'm sure you've seen it at the gym a lot, but at American Top Team, we've had some of the greatest girls that ever competed in the sport. Amanda Nunez, Kayla Harrison as well. Joanna is another one. And I've seen them.
They're all the best, exactly.
They're some of the best ever. And I've seen them, you know, and this is not to diss them or anything. I've seen them go with dudes, you know, and like if the dude has to be like usually a weight class below, and they're not like top 20 guys. They're not, you know, they're not like the cream of the crop or even the top 15. These are guys that are like in the regional promotion that are like maybe working their way up and stuff like that. And they will give these fucking world champions all that they could handle. You know, if you get a top 15 in there with the best girl in the world, she's done.
Destroy them, yeah. Not even close.
It's not even close.
And the girls aren't going to neither. It's not disrespecting the girls.
It's not. They know it.
They
know
understand
it. You know,
they have like if I spar a girl, which is very rare, I'm like playing around. Same with you. It's like we're playing. We're not like taking it serious with these women because, you know, I'm past my prime, I'm older, but there's no girl in the world that would stand any chance against me. It's like
the tendon strength, the ligament strength is just different. The amount of testosterone that we've been producing since we hit puberty till the day, it's uncomparable. Our bone density, our ability to take a hit, and all these things, we're not scientists. We just know from fucking
we're not retarded.
Simple observation, you know. Now you're gonna put these fucking biological men because they fucking grow out their hair and do some other things and let them compete against our women. That's crazy. Bro.
It's crazy. It's what we're saying, it's not as controversial anymore, but a couple years ago it was extremely controversial. It still is controversial to some people. But when I first started speaking against this stuff, it was like I was getting so much hate for it.
Yeah.
For just speaking common sense.
Especially you because you're in Cali and shit over there.
Yeah, people would tell me, I privately, like, I agree with you, but publicly they would be like too scared to say it. It's like, you people are insane.
No, never. You have kids?
Yeah.
How many?
Maybe a couple, I don't know. Okay. I don't want to talk about family life. I have too many haters.
Okay. I got my daughter's 16 and my son is 9. Brother, I'll kill a motherfucker before they put a finger on my daughter.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, if she's like playing volleyball and some fucking dude comes across the thing, pegging that fucking ball or something, I'll be the first to be like, hell no.
No, that's what people are like, oh, why do you care about women's sports? Exactly. I have a daughter, so I do care. And I'm a professional athlete. I know the difference. So I
know the difference.
And it's trying to tell you to like act like it's something true that's not true. That's a big thing too. I'm not going to pretend like something that's not true is true.
No, I'm whatever they're calling themselves that week, and you got to just like I've always like I've compassion for these individuals as well, you know. So if they were to come up to me and be like, listen, you know, could you just, I know I'm not one, but could you just, you know, it's like, all right, maybe we come to an agreement just for your mental peace, but don't like police my words, you know, like people trying to police the words of the government, like in Canada. I think California, if you misgender somebody, you get arrested. I remember reading that.
They can arrest you, but I think they're doing things
like a citation or
fire
something.
you from like government jobs. I could be wrong, because I haven't lived in California in a few years, but it's like
I remember seeing that law, and I didn't know if it was like fake or not. But
I think
if
they were
you
trying to,
yeah.
but I think it's hard with the First Amendment. I think people are getting fired and stuff for it though.
That you get fired. Did anything happen to you because there's only 2 genders and you believe that? That's bananas.
In California, people are still going along with this craziness. I think we've kind of like broke free. We think it's like not controversial anymore because in our world it's not. But there's still people that are too scared to be like, there's more than, there's not more than 2 genders. It's insane.
It's unlimited genders. When I hear that, I go, holy smoke. But you can't change your race, though. Because you ask these people, I go, well, can I change my race? And could I just wake up and I'm Asian today? Island Pacific there. And they're like, no, that's different. What?
But it's less of a difference between a race than I'm a lot more similar than a black man than a woman.
Yeah, there's a lot more chances that I'm any of them, the other men that I could possibly be, than me being a fucking woman.
I'm a lot closer to you than a girl. Exactly.
100%, you know? We can never give birth. We can never fucking have a period, a menstrual cycle, this and that. These are the things that it's just like, I don't know who falls for it. You know, there's no scientist that could actually prove it. Nobody's proven it. There's never been a man pregnant in the history of our fucking civilization of the world since BC. You know, there's never been a man documented pregnant, and yet they're pushing this on us. You know. Well,
also in the sports, a perfect example, the trans women are dominating. The trans men never won anything. I jokingly called out the 10 toughest trans men in the world, and it went like super viral. And I'm like, okay, I'll seriously fight them though. If 10 women want to, or 10 women pretend to be men want to fight me, I'll still take that offer because I know it's gonna be so easy. One after the next. It's like the difference is too massive.
Nobody took the challenge, huh?
No. I had a couple like pretend for the media, then I DM'd them. They're like, no, I didn't want to fight you. Yeah, pure insanity.
It's just like you get like any one of the trans guys and you put them in with the women, and like, for example, for the swimming, I think there's only been like 2 trans men to compete in women, and they're both are like national holders, national champions. Like,
the Olympics, there was 2 men, they both won. People are trying to argue they weren't men, but like the science behind it, they
for
tested
the gold
positive.
medalists?
Yeah, and they both
for the
won gold.
boxing one?
Yeah, and both of them just happened to win gold.
XY.
They had XY. People are trying to say, oh, they weren't that. And it's like, well, the chromosomes say they are, and their physiques look like it. And
where do you draw the line? You know, the chromosome says it. You know, the doctor says it at birth, and you're still denying this for what? And I think France, just in total, was like some of the worst fucking Olympics. Period. You know, not the athletes that did fucking amazing, but the whole thing, how they went about it, their opening ceremonies, how they treated. Yeah,
wasn't like some weird satanic?
It was a lot of
mocking.
It was mocking the Last Supper. There was a lot of weird stuff in there. You know, and. It just, man, I didn't like it. And then watching this girl, the transvestite compete and just mopping these chicks that have been training. We know what they're going through. They're training just as hard as us, you know?
These women train hard, exactly. That's why.
And to get their dream shattered like that. It's like me and you make it to the finals and they bring like some alien. You know,
and that's why we can relate to this. We dedicate our whole life to it, you know, and so the women have too. So people act like they don't care. It's like, no, I do care. And like, yeah, man, I watch women's sports, but I understand what these girls go through.
The chick that took the silver medal, she'd never...
Kayla Harris, the judo girl? Oh, no.
No. In the Olympic, the one that lost to the gold medalist, she had never quit in her whole career. She quit like in 48 seconds. She said she's never been hit that hard in her life.
Well, there's a reason why people get mad when men beat up their girlfriends. It's like, because we know the difference is too massive.
No, but in the Olympics, it's cool, though. You can beat up your girlfriend in the Olympics, not in fucking real life anymore, bro.
Yeah. What, different topic, what was your thought, like, on all the BLM and that shit?
Man, it's just weird because I don't like to think that anyone's life is more or less than anyone's life, you know? So when you put something like Black Lives Matter, I agree 1,000,000%. Black Lives Matter, Brown Lives Matter, White Lives Matter. Asian lives matter. Like any human being fucking matters. So when you start to, I think, just like dial on this thing, it kind of like, I think it opens the door for fucking racism. And then another thing, which I really don't understand, is the people that were organizing these people, which if you trace the money, it's like a lot of it to do with like George Soros.
Soros, exactly.
Which is like
it was highly organized,
person,
which is
you know?
weird how organized it was.
Super duper organized. But what really fucking bothers me is that black people were destroying black-owned businesses.
Yeah.
You fucking stupid, bro. You're doing what they want you to fucking do. Bro.
No, they were tearing
That's exactly what they fucking want you to do. And then people will say, oh, insurance and this and that. What the fuck are you talking about insurance? You don't know when that fucking insurance money's going to hit. You don't know what's going to happen. You just destroyed these people's livelihood when they were ravaging stores and things like that. So that type of stuff, I 1,000,000% don't agree with. I agree with peaceful demonstration, marching, doing stuff that you have to do to create noise, to bring views to your, you know, your movement. But like destroying your own people's business and stuff, you got played, brother. You let George Soros fucking play you.
I couldn't agree more. It was manipulated to drive anger and to tear up their own communities, and it was this complete. It drove way more racism. I think one thing so great about fight gyms, there's not really any racism in fight gyms. You know, you can't say there's none, but it's very, very little. And usually when it is, it's not like real. It's people talking shit, fucking around, because we're all even on the mats and in the cage and the ring.
Exactly it, man. It's like fighting. Sports in general, but mainly I think more fighting, it brings us so close, you know? Because at the end of the day, we're all sweating, breathing hard, bleeding, and you just feel that on the mat. You know, whether you like each other or not, you're always going to at least have that respect. Yeah. And that's the fucking coolest thing, you know? And that's what I think with the social media movement, with all this shit, a lot of people, these kids just don't have respect. They're going on there. How many people will fucking badmouth you right now after this podcast or me and just say crazy shit because they can get away with it?
Yeah, we can't punch them in their mouth. And they don't know, like guys like us, when we both have assault charges we've dealt with and stuff. But before the dude's mouth off, we would pop him in the mouth. That's why I always respect you. You're a real fighter.
Appreciate that, bro.
I remember you had the hands behind your back and then you pieced up
Leon.
That was dope.
Yeah, this motherfucker had it coming to him. He was talking.
Wasn't he like talking crap to you, right? And then he was
talking. He was talking crap on like Twitter and stuff. And then we were fight week out in England. I tried to talk to him and stuff, and he was like not having it. He kept fucking avoiding me. So then I finished fighting Till. I got knockout of the night, fight of the night. I'm ecstatic. I'm happy as could be. And they're giving me these awards. Like they're literally just telling me, hey, you just won knockout of the night, fight of the night. How do you feel, this and that? And this fucker comes and cuts my interview.
That's right. That's what he did, huh?
That's not happening, dog.
That's what I started. I remember thinking he deserved it. I couldn't remember what happened. I'm like, this guy started it.
Yeah. I was like, bro, if you tell me to shut up while I'm doing my own interview, it's like somebody comes in here right now and tells us to shut up or some shit. You're not gonna.
No, we're not. Yeah, that's the thing. We're gonna go take care of him. It's the way we are.
You know. And fucking, I wasn't gonna let Leon, even though it's his city, and he had like 6 of his coaches there, I wasn't gonna let him punk me. You know. And anyways, it did for a good backup story, you know, because now when I come back to this bitch, I could scrap with him, you know, get that W.
That's why I like it. I know, even though you're outnumbered, you're not going to put up with disrespect. You're going to I'm going to go down swinging. And you won that anyway.
Yeah.
He just let you walk right up to him with your hands. But what do you think you were going to do? Obviously, you were going to hit him.
Initially, I wasn't, as I'm walking over there, I'm just kind of like, let me gauge where he's at. Let me see where this motherfucker's at. Does he want to like throw down? Because you just told me some foul shit over the mic. Maybe when I get close, he's like, oh, bro, hey, relax. It's just for camera or something. And I could be like, get the fuck out of my face, you know? Something. I'm not 100%. I'm going to kill him, but I'm like, we're going to find out what's up. As I start getting closer, I'm like 4, 5, 6 feet away. And you can see it on video. He's like this. And he literally puts his hands up like this. As soon as he does his hands go any of this, you're fucking, it's green light. You're gonna hit me or I'm gonna hit you because you're doing that. My hands are behind my back. As soon as you do this shit right here, it's done, you know? That's it.
Well, I agree. It was a while ago. I remember watching it being like, oh, he had that coming.
Yeah.
That was my interpretation at least.
Yeah.
But I mean, well, perfect example what you said, like, the guy puts his hands up. It happened to Nate, that guy. He's a Jake Paul impersonator. He put his hands up, so then Nate just put him down and choked him. This fag is suing Nate now.
Yeah.
Trying to get money.
Nate choked him unconscious, right? Yeah, I remember seeing that.
He's trying to get money.
I was like in Louisiana or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
What kind of
dork? Of course he is. Of course he is.
What kind of dorks can pretend like he's Jake Paul? What kind of man's going to pretend like they're another man? How pathetic is that?
Yeah, bro. And then sue. And then start problems and then sue, you know?
It's just pathetic.
I know a lot of pathetic motherfuckers, bro.
Speaking of that, let's get into your beef with Kobe Covington.
That fucking bitch, bro.
Yeah, I never met him, but I don't like him.
You wouldn't like him.
He just seems like so fucking fake and cheesy.
He is a fake, bro. He'll meet you and he'll like try to best friend you and this and that. He's trying to like, he's a fucking chameleon, man, you know? He's the type of dude that, and I saw it happen many times, you know, he knew I was very religious, so if it was just me and him, we were talking about religious, he'd like open up, man, I'm so religious, man. I believe in God. I know that there's an intelligent design out there, and go like all into it. And then if we're in a group of people, and then like 2-3 people are like atheists, like, no, I don't believe in God. I went to college and this and that. I'd be like, yeah, I agree, man. It's just like the probability's too unlikely. I'd be like, bro, you motherfucker, you told me like 2-3 weeks ago when you're getting high as a kite, how much you believe in God. Now there's no God. No, but like scientifically, he would always be wishy-washy. And you can still see it to nowadays. He's still a wishy-washy guy,
Well, he's had a falling out with all of his good long-term friends. If someone does that, that tells you something. I haven't had falling out with any of my good friends. Yeah, John Jones.
John Jones warned me. That John Jones and T. Woodley, they warned me. That's the fucked up part. I wish
you're like, damn, I should listen to these guys, right?
I 100% wish I would have, And T. Wood warned me a lot, and I was very close with Woodley and Kobe at the time. And I was like, maybe they had fallen out. But then after he did it to my coach, that's when I knew this guy's a piece of shit,
Was that the falling out with you? Oh, he didn't pay your coach or something?
He didn't pay my coach.
What a scumbag.
And that's when I already knew. And my coach trained him from his amateur fight all the way to his interim belt fight with Rafael Dos Anjos. All those fights he trained him. And then now, like, you finally got the belt, so you finally get a little bit of money, as we all know. Like, pay the fucking man. And he straight up stiffed him on that. And I knew since then, like, this guy's just fucking piece of shit, bro.
Yeah, you see a lot of guys do that. They'll be not making that much money. They're paying their coaches, and they get a good payday, and they're like, "Oh,
gone. Next coach, and let me get the next one cheaper." And now I saved a bunch of money.
They're like, "Oh, I have a name now. A guy will want to do it for cheap because of my name."
Yeah, I never been that type of guy. I'm gonna take care of the ones that been there with me grinding from the start.
No, exactly. It's about honor and respect. That's like my crew. We all came up together and we stayed loyal. And it's like,
You guys are the Cesar Gracie stuff. The scrap pack. Yeah,
you don't get that much anymore. With guys coming up, and coming loyal. But
one thing I always respected is you guys always did your interviews and you always wore each other's T-shirts. I remember, like you'd have on like Nick Diaz's shirt, and then he'd have your shirt on when he was doing his interview, and same thing with Gil and stuff. That was always cool to see.
Yeah, we always pushed each other because some of these gyms you go to, you can tell guys are secretly like jealous when one guy's getting a lot of fame.
Yeah.
But for me, when one of the guys is getting more fame, we were happy for him. Like Nick was a big star, then Gil had his moment. Nate's a superstar right now, but I'm always been like super happy for these guys when they're getting the moment. I've been to some of these other gyms, you could tell there's little like backseating, hating, and like that's a problem with the super gyms. Like, I mean, you're one of the super gyms. Overall, I think you guys do pretty well, but there's always going to be a few the more people you add, the more like problems you run into.
Well, what'll happen more at like our gym is like somebody that was getting a lot of attention at like their smaller gym, then comes over and they're like, man, I'm getting beat up every day. I'm not getting attention like I used to, and then they kind of don't fit the bill, That we do get a couple of those,
It's a tough gym to walk into, but you got to be hard to go in a gym like that. You got to go in there and just force it. Nothing's being handed to you in our sport. You got to grind and like years of it. It's not.
And then the coaches, they go, hey, not bad. Come over here. Let me show you something, And it's just, you got to put in the time to support.
You got to listen and be coachable too. If you're coaching people and they're not listening, it's like, okay, and it's like, well, I'm not going to coach you then.
Yeah. And then if you're not showing up to practice because, nobody's giving you attention or something. So we've had a lot of guys that came to ATT and just couldn't cut it. And also we've had a lot of guys that I was surprised. I was like, man, this guy was like 0-3, this and that. Probably won't be the best fit here, even on a technical level. And they come here and they're like 3-4 years later, they change everything around. They're grinding, they're doing it,
Yeah, you have like a massive gym, right? I've never been to the place, but it seems like
you gotta go.
So many guys out of there.
You gotta go. We got so many fucking good guys in different grapplings.
When I was fighting, it was always like, 2 guys in my fight there.
Yeah, a lot of guys that you could have fought. You fought Hector Lombard.
I fought a few guys out there. Maybe not. Woodley was kind of part of the gym, right?
Yeah, Woodley as well.
All these guys.
Yeah, Woodley, Lombard.
And I was always like, I never wanted to be close to someone in my fight. I'm the same way. Some of these guys are buddies. I'm like, I can't. Like, I would potentially very deliberately not make friends with people in my way that I'm fight.
Yeah, same here.
I don't know how these guys can be all like buddy and then go.
I could be cool and cordial, but I'm not. I don't want to grab a meal with you.
But I'm not trying to. Exactly. I'll go to the gym with spar guys sometimes, but I'm not like trying to like go out, do things. I just don't want to fight my friends. Not the way I am.
Hell yeah, same here. I don't want to fight my friends.
Guys like Kobe probably don't give a shit.
He doesn't, man, because he, the first moment, we weren't even scheduled to fight or nothing. He was already like throwing dirt on my name, throwing dirt on me, all this stuff. And I was kind of like, man, I don't want to take it there, like, because fuck, you used to live in my fucking house. You ate off my fucking plates. Like, I don't want to turn this into like a fucking back and forth with him. I just wanted, if we were going to fight, to have just done the fight and that's it. But this fucker, before I knew, I had taken it to a whole other level involving my kids, my family, that's background, my religion, everything. So I was
talking about kids and family background. Well, I guess that explains why you fucked him up on the street.
Well, and I told him, I go, brother, you, because we had a couple press conferences, and I told him, you keep this shit up, it's gonna be for life, bro. Like, don't mention my kids. And at the very moment that I told him don't mention my kids, he said something about my kids there, and I was like, I looked him in the face. I said, okay, man, that's you're doing, you know. And right before I run into him, allegedly in Miami, he does a 2-hour podcast with the Nelk Boys. It's all on video. He says, if I run into Jorge Masvidal in the streets of Miami, I will kill this guy. I will literally forget fucking hospital or anything. I'll fucking kill this guy. And he goes on like a fucking serious rant about what he'll do to me. So all the Nelk Boys are there laughing. Everybody's like, oh yeah, fucking kill him, bro. The king of Miami, Kobe. Well, you know, lucky for him, 2 hours later, we bump into each other.
Oh shit, it was right that same time.
It was that same fucking day, literally like 2 hours later. And I bump into his ass. I'm like, Kobe.
Yeah, well.
You know? And that motherfucker tried to sue me for everything. There's a lot of, I never really, the case finished like 6 months ago, 8 months ago.
Yeah, don't talk about it, it's gonna get you in trouble.
Oh, no, I'm good. It's done. Like 6, 8 months ago. So I wasn't talking about it too much before. But this motherfucker literally tried to say I gave him brain damage. No,
you already had brain damage.
Yeah, you were born with that shit, you retard fuck. You know, and he went after it hard. He went after me for like a year and change, trying to put me behind bars, trying to fucking get money from everything that he possibly could after he said he would kill me in the streets of Miami, you know? No, that's it just shows the type of person he is.
It's like fighting words. I had something similar happen with the guy Mike Jackson, you know who that is? Total bomb.
Sounds so familiar.
Total bomb. He was in the UFC, but he was talking shit to me on Twitter, and like we agreed, like, all right, let's fight on site. And he agreed to it, right? And I walk in the UFC PI and he's sitting there hitting the bag, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah, it's on, bitch. And then he's like, no, let's fight like in, come to Dallas or Houston and fight me instead. And I'm like, bro, we agreed to fight on site. And I went after him. Some guys like pulled me off, and then he starts talking shit. So the guys let me go, threw him on the ground, started like slapping him, had mount, slapping him. And then, you know, I got pulled off again. This guy runs downstairs, goes, call the cops. Had Forrest call the cops. Cops come. Then he like pressed charges. He tries suing me. The cops didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but he kept trying to call to try to get the cops to like repress charges, trying to like not have them throw it out. Because the detectives are like, dude, it's not a big deal. It's like a fight at a gym. It's like gym fights.
It's a fight at a gym.
Cops over a gym. It was at a gym fight.
It's a gym fight at a fight gym.
Yeah, it was a gym fight at a fight gym. We both fought in the UFC.
What the fuck?
That's charges.
That's the same thing when we got to court. It was like, okay, we have 2 professional fighters that got into a fight, and one of them threatened to kill the other one. What am I missing here? Like, yeah, dismiss. Get the fuck out of here.
I think him threatened to kill you should have right there. I didn't know that part. That right there should have been instant throw out.
And it's all on tape. No, but you know, it just so happens that where the events took place at, he has a lot of connections with the police department over there, Miami Beach Police Department. Yeah, he like sucks off the captain over there, and like they're fucking buddy. So this motherfucker they were pushing it, bro. They were trying to fucking rope me up, man, for this shit, you know?
They're trying to actually give you time?
Yeah, they were trying to get me to do time, pay restitution, but everything that he threw my way got fucking tossed out of court because it was bullshit.
The death threats.
He was claiming he had his $50,000 watch took like $20,000 in damage. It's cool. You could do that. You could say whatever the fuck you want. But when you're in court and you're actually like fucking going through the system, they're gonna get a forensic guy. And they're gonna fucking look at that watch. And what do? They looked at the watch. They're like, this thing's not over $1,000. Because originally I got charged with like grand theft,
fake watch,
property to like grand theft, damage to the property over fucking I don't know how many thousands of dollars, this and that. So it was like serious charges. As the case going more and more, and now we're bringing a forensic detective or this and that. Everything was like shredded up, you know. It's just this guy's like a legit bitch, bro.
Yeah, right. I totally understand. Because I've dealt with a guy just like that. You see these people, you're like, how is a pro fighter going to be such a bitch like this? Him and Mike Jackson should beat each other up.
Yeah, they should both switch genders and then beat each other up. Go to the fucking the training division, bro.
No, that guy, for some reason, he just seems so fake to me. I think he tried pressing charges on, was it Verdum?
Verdum. I was actually there in Australia. Verdum bounced a boomerang off his fucking head. And at the time, this was like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago. And I was somewhat cool with him. He hadn't ripped off my coach, but we barely talked. We were at the same gym, but we were kind of cool. And right after it happens, he's in the lobby and he comes running. He's like, bro, fucking Verdum just hit me with a fucking boomerang. This and that. I'm pressing charges. I'm calling the cops. I was like, don't do that. The UFC's going to get fucking mad at you. He's like, no, bro. I'm fucking pressing charges. Fuck that. I'm not going to have these guys attacking me. So he went and pressed charges. You know what the UFC did? Like, yeah. boom, send this bitch ass home. He had just been there for like a day and something. He was gonna do some appearances. They send this bitch ass home for pressing charges, you know. And I don't think nothing happened to Verdum anyways, but
Well, it's fighting. Like there's a few times like we got in brawls and stuff, like my crew, and the media just flips out. They're like, I can't believe these guys are doing it.
yeah,
It's like,
you
we're
guys,
fighters.
you
getting
guys
in a
got
fight.
one, yeah,
Like
you guys
that
got
Strike
in
Force
one of the
brawl.
most, epic brawls ever. I remember that one with Jason Mayhem and everything.
Right,
that was an
'cause-
epic one. That was an epic one.
I just got done beating Henderson. And Mayhem hopped over the cage.
Yeah.
He was training with Henderson at the time. I guess I didn't like him that much. So he came at me. So we thought a whole brawl was going to break
Yeah.
out between our crews, but Henderson guys were just like, we don't like this guy. So
Yeah.
we basically stomped Miller. In his defense, he was tough. He didn't bitch about it, took a beating well, didn't
Even
cry.
like a man.
He didn't cry like a bitch. He said,
Yeah.
I got fucked up.
Yeah.
So I'll give him some credit. At least he was tough.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily like the
Didn't
guy,
press
but-
charges or
Yeah,
nothing.
he didn't press charges.
And then they
didn't
did
cry
a
about
raid
it.
on his house, right? Didn't they? Like the
Under
SWAT.
a lot of legal trouble, man.
Yeah.
He's a little like mentally crazy. He's
Oh,
always
snap.
doing shit.
I hope he's good. But I remember
yeah.
seeing that when the SWAT was trying to get him out of his house
He
or
had to
some
stand
shit.
up with him. That's right.
Yeah, I don't remember the details, but I remember he had the standoff, and I was like,
fool.
"This
You know, you
dude's
can get shot
crazy,
in
dog."
those situations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
He's been arrested a lot. I'm surprised he's out. It's like, even though we had our fights, I hope the guy well. It's
Yeah.
like, I hope he's doing well because he's in and out of jail constantly. And
Shit, I didn't know he was still going in and out. But the last time I had heard of him, I remember it was that massive standoff. And then he had that show on MTV too where he was doing good, right?
that was big. That show,
Yeah.
Blood Beat Down.
Yeah.
Did a few episodes of that, and people always even mention that. So he must have got some good fame from that. But
Yeah.
it fell apart. Some people just can't handle. I don't know if it's the fame. I mean, obviously, a lot of people that fight, we have some issues. That's probably why we're fighting.
Yeah.
So it's not, that surprising, I guess.
You gotta be able to handle that fame, bro.
Yeah, the fame, you see, fuck some people up. They get all cheesy and corny, and that's what you had to learn. That's why it's good seeing mentors before you being like, oh, don't become a douchebag, don't change, don't start doing a bunch of drugs, or.
Yeah, don't change for the fucking money.
So switching topics real quick, weren't you one of the I think you were one of the early guys to like endorse Trump, right?
Yeah,
Did you get like
definitely.
a ton of hate from that, or what?
ton
made
of
you
hate,
do
and
that?
still do to this day. Like a ton of hate. Man, initially, I was making like very good money on YouTube and like Facebook. I was monetized. I was fucking killing the game. I'm talking about good fucking money. Like I didn't have to fight money, like
Yeah, nice.
very good money. And I did a video with Don Jr. And we got like 44 million views.
Wow.
I'm talking about like 2-3 days later, simultaneously, Facebook and YouTube, I'm monetized. No reason why. There wasn't like, oh, you put this video that was flagged, and there's no reason why. We were like, what the fuck? It took like, that was in 2020. It took like to 2022, almost 2023 that I found somebody that could help me out, get it monetized again. So we came to an agreement. I was monetized again. I was on my way to making money. Trump goes down to Florida in 2023, and he asked me to come to Hialeah to the rally. So I gave out a couple words. I did a little speech. Immediately, that was on, I don't know, say like Thursday, Friday morning. Again, I was unmonetized on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I don't even give a fuck, bro. Because what do we have? What's this money if I don't have
You
this
got
country?
to do what's
Like,
right. You gotta have your dignity too. You can't
It
like
doesn't,
lie for money.
And it's just like that, because the fuck yous and shit like that, I could give a fuck less. But the money is like,
Oh, it sucks when people go after your money.
hurts a little bit, The
It's
money's
crazy
it
they're doing
hurts.
that. The tech companies are all
Yeah.
super left wing, so they'll go after you if you don't follow the
Super
total
left
line.
wing with the corona stuff, with everything.
Corona was
So-
retarded too. Thank God most fighters didn't buy that because I didn't even buy it for a day. I mean, a lot of fighters would stop training for a couple weeks, but it's just like, come on, let's keep this shit on.
I actually stopped training for a couple of weeks initially because it was like scary, man. I was watching people with the ET
They
suits
really
and,
pushed it.
and I live with my dad, so that was my scare. I was
that's
like,
a little different,
I'm good, but my dad has already like had some complications and he's a little bit older, so I was like, man, I can't get my dad sick. So for like 2 weeks, I was like buying the groceries, and when we get him down, we'd spray him down, doing the whole thing. I don't know what's happening, but I'm gonna save my dad, or try to. And then after like 4 weeks happened, I started seeing more and seeing who was getting sick and who wasn't, and this and that. I was like, you know what? I think this shit might be a fucking hoax, man. I don't know. So I sent my dad for like a month to live away, and then I just got back to my like full-time training. I sent him to the Keys. It's like 2 hours from where I was living, and I just got back to like full-time training and stuff. And I got tested for corona like over 47 times because for the UFC and for Donald Trump, every time we would do something for Donald Trump, I'd have to get checked like 2-3 times. And I never once tested positive for corona. Yet I had people that were like my coaches that when we went to the fight and before we'd get to the next phase, we had to get tested. The guys that were with me like 2-3 days tested positive for corona, and I tested negative. That's how I knew this shit is just fucking weird, bro. There's no way I spent 2 days with this guy driving on a plane, sleeping in the same hotel room. He has full-blown corona, and I don't have shit.
Yeah, I never caught it either,
Yeah.
I never really believed it. That's probably why I'm like, I'm not going to catch this shit.
I never once caught it, bro. It was crazy. I thought one time I had it, and I went and checked myself. It was like a very bad cold, flu or something, but it didn't have corona, so...
But it was annoying. Yeah, we used to have to get tested to go to the fights. And
oh my god, shove that fucking stick up your fucking
so
nose.
Annoying. They crammed it up. Yeah, UFC was good though. They were the first sport to get back, and that helped blow them up. And I think
that was the biggest thing.
And like it got connected to like the right wing media. I mean, you met Trump quite a few times, or
numerous times. It 2019.
He's
first
down in
time.
Florida a lot, right? Sure,
Yeah.
There, yeah.
And then 2020. They took me with them all through Florida and a couple states, just freaking like going to rallies and speaking and stuff. And I was like, this is the fucking coolest. Just like how we were saying at the top of the show, like, who the fuck would ever imagine?
Yeah, we're like
some fucking face beaters with the fucking president of the United and the greatest president of the United States. Not some Joe Schmo, like the fucking man himself. You know, I still can't believe it. You know,
no, it's crazy. Like, so we come from exactly fighting these tiny shows. There was no money when we first started. It was
money.
We just did it because we were like we were addicted. We had no choice. We had to like.
But it was like the best.
Yeah, blew up.
How many fights you have in Shudo?
I think like 5 or 6. I was the champ there for a minute. I beat you remember Hayato Sakurai?
Oh my god,
I beat them there.
That's one of my favorite fighters of all time. I forgot you fought Hayato.
That was my first time in Japan. It was like
no way, and that was your first fight. They were setting you up to get killed, bro.
Me up and went out and won that. So I won their belt, and then it was like, they gave me like 2 weeks notice. But that's why you got to tell these young fighters you got to stay in shape.
Oh no,
around.
Yeah. Especially for guys like us when we grew up in that area. It was like if you were in the UFC, maybe you'd get some notice, but that was the only place. Outside of that, you had to stay in the gym because you had to be able to take a fight in 2-3 weeks notice. Always, you know, your weight had to be right and your conditioning.
No, exactly.
So it was different when we were coming up, you know. Damn, that's crazy. Hayato's one of my favorite
awesome.
fights. You fought him at 67?
167. That was a big.
Yeah, I remember. I remember Japan. Yeah, you're big. You're massive for 67.
Yeah, 3 pounds. Yeah.
Hayato was one of the best guys. Period, bro. Pound for pound, he was fucking good, man. He could do it all.
And I was completely unknown. I got offered that fight in like 2 weeks' notice. I'm like, fuck yeah, flew out there by myself. Well, Nick came out with me. Neither one of us had ever been on a plane. We were just like broke, street kids. And all of a sudden, we're flying to Japan. It was like surreal.
Bro, surreal. So I remember my first flight to Japan. It was like the sun was following me the whole time. It stayed fucking the whole time, like 16 hours there. You just fucking feel out of whack. You land and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
It's like culture shock. I'd never been on a plane, and all of a sudden I'm in Japan. You're like, what?
And Japan is like one of the furthest things from like America as far as culture, how they treat each other, eat, how they fucking talk, everything. It's a complete 180.
Yeah, but such a cool experience.
Such a cool
holy shit. I'm on these big shows fighting superstars. That was like.
Did you get to eat a lot of food over there?
At the time, I hardly didn't eat ethnic food really. I only like pizza and like Mexican food. So I'm like, what the hell is this crap? So now I eat Japanese food. But at the time, I didn't know what the hell it was.
Did you eat like every steaks over there, like the Wagyu and stuff?
Noodles and stuff. Because I don't eat meat. I'm vegetarian. So I was eating like the plain noodles. So being a vegetarian in Japan's tough. Everything's like fish and
meat.
So it was tough.
Meat,
eating there was not easy. But you make do. Nowadays,
did you get to travel around there?
A little bit. I went there a bunch of times. It was always just a fight. So we stayed in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I never really
Narito,
left.
Tokyo.
Sometimes you're fighting, you're like, I need to start seeing shit.
Yeah, but after you fight, you'd always probably go to Roppongi, right?
Yeah, and we'd rage out there. That was fun.
Yeah. Raging in Roppongi
for a
was
night,
like
and then
funniest shit ever. Yeah, rage for a night and sleep the whole way back.
Just sleep on the plane, exactly. Yeah. Such crazy.
Yeah.
I said we had a very similar, all these different shows. Fucking such a cool experience.
Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't trade it for anything.
And after Japan, then you went to Strikeforce.
Yeah, no,
me too.
Elite XC first.
Elite XC then,
We had that one fight with Bodog in Costa Rica. We're on the beach out there. Yeah,
and that was nuts.
Elite XC, Strikeforce, and UFC.
Those were nuts because, man, people that weren't there will never understand it, but it was like, all right, Jake Shields is going, and Bodog is paying for like 3 more of your cornermen to go and stay. Yeah, they're paying great, and then they would pay your cornermen, like 2 to 3 cornermen, and you'd go there for like 15 days, I remember. One of the ones,
nice resort right in the
nice
beach,
resort.
Costa Rica.
Do you remember the training mats that they'd set up? It'd be fucking a who's who of training back then, man. I remember everybody was on those fucking mats.
Dropping money. It was all fighters, so we'd fight. It would be a ring out on the beach, and it would just be fighters there. It was like some Kumite shit.
Yeah,
it was
cool. One of the coolest experiences ever. The first one that I did in Costa Rica was like deep in the fucking jungle. I think you fought in the second one,
I just
right?
did one. I think the second one, yeah.
Yeah, I fought in the first one. It was like in this jungle. Now the fight was like in a little studio. You fought in the one outdoors, right? The ring outside.
Yeah, the outside one. Yeah,
that's the second one. Yeah, I fought in the one inside first. And it was just fucking amazing because we were like, it felt like Enter the Dragon, I remember.
That was cool. You were in the Russia card too, right?
I was in the Russia card, yeah. I fought Steve Berger there.
Oh,
it was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It was bananas. Russia, another culture shock, completely different than Japan, America. Cold as fuck. The people are cold. They don't. You say hi to them.
The cold till you get to know them, I think, is the Russian culture. So when you don't know it, they seem like so mean. But once you get to know them, they're like nice.
I remember I was like in the place where it was like the New York of Russia. So it was like numerous people walking left and right. And I just stood there and did a social experiment. I'm like, I'm just gonna wave till somebody like says hi back. Nobody. It's like, hey. Nobody would even fucking acknowledge me. He just fucking walk right through, you know? It was a cool time. The food wasn't that good.
Yeah, I want to go to Russia. I've never been, but I'll go there at some point.
Oh, it was a good place. I got into a crazy fight actually over there after
someone told me about this.
Yeah. After the fight.
David Avalon, I know. I told
David Avalon, yeah.
That's why I said Russia. I didn't want to mention it on the show that fight, but he's like, oh, we got in a fight, or you got in a fight in Russia.
Got in a fucking fight in Russia with some mobsters, bro. It was nuts, bro.
He said it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. They shut down the whole event. They fucking got me out of there. Like, you're going to get killed. We got to get you out of there. And they fucking took me out of there fast, bro.
Crazy fucking up Russian mob in Russia.
Bro, I didn't know. I was just fucking.
Someone telling me, like, oh, man, that crazy fucker.
Yeah, I just, Jake Ellenberger was there with me, actually, and it all went down, you know.
Shit.
Yeah, Jose Pelé was there as well, and another fighter. Yeah, he's a fucking
savages with you at least.
Yeah, Rodrigo Dam. Jake was like sitting down and he saw the whole thing unfolding. He was like, "What the fuck?" But actually, thank God, Jose Pelé
That's what's funny. That's the guy I said I bet would have jumped in because he seemed like a lunatic.
Who?
Jose
Pelé jumped in. He choked some motherfucker out. Another friend of mine jumped in. It was a good time, bro.
Backup at least, yeah.
Yeah, little backup, yeah.
Oh shit, they might kill us.
Yeah, it was.
You ever watch Jose Pelé versus Chuck Liddell?
Of course.
30-minute war.
Oh my god, that's the only time I've seen Chuck use his wrestling offensively.
That was savage.
It was crazy, bro. Anybody that hasn't seen that fight, you got to see that one. That beat the fuck out of each other. Bare knuckle, right? That one was bare knuckle. Yeah.
Bare knuckle. I like bare knuckle.
Yeah.
You were doing some bare knuckle promotions, right?
Yeah. We just had one 2 weeks ago, Friday.
Is that Game Breed?
Game Breed, yeah. Game Breed, bare knuckle.
Where can you watch it? You might as well get a shout out for your show.
YouTube cool. Right now. Game Breed bare knuckle on YouTube, and on X as well. We stream the fights.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like the bare knuckle. Do you still watch a lot of fights, or are you mostly just kind of a little less? Or
I go on like I guess themes of fights. Like sometimes I just do like heavy boxing. Like the last 6-7 months, I really wasn't watching that much MMA or other stuff. I was just watching boxing. Now that I'm back to MMA, I watch a lot of like Muay Thai. I love collegiate wrestling, world wrestling, and obviously MMA. Like every time that there's a good card. So I would say I watch like 70-80% of what I do watch on TV is combat. You know.
Yeah, kind of same. There's so many cards now. I don't watch them all, but I like to keep up a little bit. Plus, like there's wrestling, boxing, kickboxing. It's like so many combat sports.
Did you watch the wrestling now? It just happened.
I have not watched that now. I haven't watched wrestling in a while, actually.
I love it.
It's changed quite a bit since I was wrestling. They're scrambling more, and you got guys like Bo Nickel coming to the UFC. That guy's a savage.
I've been watching him since his freshman year. He took second, and it was at Madison Square Garden. I was there live for that. I was a big wrestling fan, so whenever I get a chance to go to the NCAAs, I always make it. So Bo's a guy that's fucking legit.
Oh, he's a good up-and-comer. Is there any other good up-and-comers you're checking out now, or?
Well, I heard Carter Starachi also wants to come fight, man. He could be the first 5-time five-time NCAA champion in history ever. So that's pretty nuts. And I heard he wants to fight, so I think he'd be.
Some of these wrestlers coming in, like Bo Nickel, he still needs a little cage experience, but he's getting good.
Yeah.
It's hard when these guys come in with so much pressure early. They start throwing him tough fights, but he keeps winning.
Yeah. He actually reminds me of you a lot in the ground because you were one of those. You were like a wrestler, but as soon as you hit the mat, you turned into a jiu-jitsu guy.
Straight
always.
Passing.
You weren't like stay in the guard and try to elbow or just squeeze somebody's leg. You would immediately get to a good position and fucking try to finish fight. And that's how Bo is too. Like he was so good at wrestling with his top control. I think 3 years in a row, he won like most pins in his weight class. Yeah. So he brought that same style into like MMA, and his jiu-jitsu was like fucking good, man.
Yeah, he's gonna be hard to beat, like even against like the top guys, because his wrestling's so good. So it's gonna be interesting to see him. Like,
nobody out wrestled.
What's the Chechen guy everyone wants him to fight?
Kamsha Chimaev.
That would be an interesting fight.
No, I think it's not gonna be a popular opinion, but Bo beats him.
I think you might be right because stylistically, it's just such a bad fight because if you can put him down, and Chimaev's not good off his back.
Boy, what's his name? Chimaev. He gasses,
a little, exactly.
I've yet to see Bo gas, bro.
No, I think you're right.
He's got a gas tank, man. I mean, in practice, they fucking beat him up, bro. They'll set up like 4 or 5 guys and just fucking sick them on him, you know, go after go.
American Top Team?
Yeah, he'll come by for like 3 weeks to a month, and then he'll go back to his place in Pennsylvania for like 2 weeks, and he'll come back down. And bro, he's a problem.
He keeps going. Yeah, no, he doesn't look easy to beat.
And we got good guys wrestling, and it's fun because I'm such a wrestling fan. I get to see him like just pure wrestling a lot of times, and that guy's got it, bro. No, he could have been. He lost to David Taylor for the Olympic spot to go to the Olympics that year,
so
but
he was almost Olympics.
Yeah, that's the only guy that he lost. So he's definitely world class caliber, you know.
But he probably realized there's money and fame and now. So,
but I think he's always wanted to fight. From talking to him, I think around he always knew he wanted to wrestle and excel in wrestling, but he always wanted to fight in the back of his mind.
Yeah, and that's some of us. You know, we come up wanting to fight wrestling. Some wrestlers don't transfer. Same with the don't see many jiu-jitsu guys switching over now. I think because jiu-jitsu is so different.
Now jiu-jitsu pays money too.
Pays money and just like so different. They've changed. The old jiu-jitsu is a lot more go on top, pass guard. A lot of the guys are doing weird butt scooting shit that doesn't transfer to MMA.
And the leg lock game has also evolved so much, you know. Which you could do it in MMA, but there is a chance
riskier,
you could get punches. Fucking your clock cleaned in fucking MMA.
Yeah, you got to be really good at them.
Really good at them. Keep the posture, fucking. There's guys that pull it off, bro.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's wrap up. Anything? What you got going on now? Anything to plug or anything that people can find you?
Sure. Well, I'll be back April next year in the UFC. Again? Yes, sir. We don't have the opponent yet. Yes, sir. Hopefully by December we got the opponent. In April, Miami card.
Man, that's awesome to hear.
Yes, sir.
So, hell yeah. Thanks for coming by.
Fuck yeah, man.